guys, it's Miss Gretchen. We are out at Karg Art Glass, and today's for Homeschooler Hookup. We are talking with Scott. He's one of the glass artists here, and I'll go ahead and pass him on to you.
Hello, I'm Scott. I'm a glass blower here at Karg Art Glass, and we make all sorts of things out of glass. First off, glass is made from sand, and so we'll get the sand and mix it with other chemicals like soda ash and lime. We mix it in a big cement mixer actually, and we'll dump it out into a barrel, that mixture, and we'll use a scoop and scoop it into brown paper bags. We'll fill them up about 25 pounds. It's like that much. So then we'll take that and throw it into the furnace, and it's got to melt inside of there. It'll take about an hour for each one of those bags to melt, and it takes maybe 15 or so bags to fill the furnaces that we use. And once it's all melted, we'll take a potato and we'll put it on the end of a rod and put it down inside that mixture, and it bubbles a bunch and mixes it up and stirs it basically. After that, we wait for about a day for all the rest of the little bubbles to come up out of there, and then we can start using the glass. And everything we make, we gather up on the end of a metal rod, stick the rod in the furnace and turn it and gather it up and build up layers. At different layers we can add colors and make layering effects, and all sorts of different cool things happen.
So is that like the glass that's right next to you? Is that how you guys did that?
Yeah, we actually put the colors on first and then built up some clear glass around it with more dips into the furnace. We call a dip a gather. And then we actually shape it after all the layers are put onto there. This piece is solid, but a lot of pieces are blown. Like anything that's a vessel, like this bowl, is something that we blow. So there's sculpting and there's blowing, and you kind of use some techniques in each thing. But it's all done on the end of a pipe, big metal pipe.
And do you guys have lots of really cool tools that are specific for glass blowing?
Oh yes, definitely. Almost all the tools are just for glass blowing, and most of them originated in Italy, and we still use the same sort of tools they used 500 years ago. There's definitely been some additions, but some of the main tools have not really changed much at all.
So is the art of glass blowing pretty much similar to what it was when it started? Or is it, I mean, there's obviously been technology advances, but the concept.
Technology advance is great. We have computers to help us control the temperatures on the furnaces and the ovens. After we make a piece, it goes into an oven at about 1,000 degrees. The glass in the furnace is 2,000 degrees, and the entire time we work with it, it's between 1,000 and 2,000, and then it goes into this oven, and from 1,000 down to room temperature, it's got to go real slow. It'll take 2 days or so usually for most pieces to cool down. If they cool down any faster than that, they'll crack. It's called annealing, and it's taking the stress out of the glass. When the glass cools, the outside cools faster than the inside, and the expansion and everything can make it crack because of that.
So sounds like you work with really hot temperatures. So do you guys burn yourselves? I know the kids are gonna ask.
Oh yeah, you get your good days and your bad days. You might go a month or two without burning yourself, and then burn yourself 3 times in one day.
Oh no.
So you just never know.
So how do you learn to become a glass blower?
I learned like an apprentice from other glass blowers, from Roland Karg, the owner here.
Okay.
And you can also learn like going to school. The closest college that offers a fine arts degree in glass blowing to here is Emporia State.
Okay.
And there's another guy, his name is Nick, and that's the route he took.
Okay. And so how long would you apprentice?
I mean, I don't know, it's not like a set schedule apprenticeship, I guess. It's just like that I learned on-the-job training, sort of.
Okay.
Working with him like an apprentice. And after a while, I don't know, maybe 5 years, I was good enough, I started helping to teach other beginners.
Okay.
And I've been doing it about for 15 years now.
Okay. So what do you absolutely love about being a glass blower?
I think the thing I like the most about glass is the way that it stretches. Like something like this, or like this, you never really know exactly how it's going to stretch, and so each one can be different. Like there's another bowl right there, it's kind of the same shape, but it's definitely not exactly the same. So it's the surprise of the stretch is always fascinating to me.
That's cool. So do you guys design what you're going to make in the long run, or you just have a basic idea and then see where the glass takes you?
We almost always have a plan for what it will mostly end up like in the end, but there's that little element of surprise every time.
Okay. All right. And you had told us earlier that you were going to show us how glass is blown. So when we do record that, we will not be hearing you because it's very loud. So we'll be back with you in a little bit.
These are tweezers. These are called diamond shears because it makes a diamond as it comes together. These are just big shears, big straight shears, small straight shears, duckbill shears. Driver that we just sharpen the point. We can use it to like swirl around in the glass, make designs sort of. It's just a regular chef's knife, but we can use the flat side of it and sometimes the sharp side to shape, sculpt. Just another set of tweezers, needle nose tweezers for making like the hook on the top of an ornament.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a one-trick pony, but
It's a good trick pony to have.
it's just another special kind of tweezers. I don't know if they have a better name. Oh, a crimp.
Okay.
C-R-I-M-P. This is another kind of crimp. It's got like a fan shape, and they make other ones too. This makes neat like fins for fish,
Oh, okay.
stuff like that too. That's a lot of the hand tools. There's also, these are wooden blocks. We keep them soaking in water so they don't really burn that fast, but they do burn a little bit at a time. We got small ones and big ones and everywhere in between. Every time we take one of those gathers or a dip, it increases the size by an inch or something. Go up an inch in size of block. We've also got some wooden paddles. We use these for shaping too. This is a newspaper. This is a brand new one. I've got it soaked just like those wooden blocks. Here's the one I've been using. But I can hold it like that, shape the glass, because eventually they wear out. So I've got another one on deck.
Okay. So, silly question, why do you use flammable materials when you're working in such hot heat?
It doesn't mark the glass.
Oh,
If it-
okay.
I don't know how that works exactly, but
Okay.
magic.
It works, so you work with it.
Chamber. And then the bigger one is the furnace that actually holds the glass.
Okay.
Inside of there is like a big bowl, basically. I can show you one of the big bowls over here.
Okay. Oh, a spare, okay. That's really big.
Eventually, the fire in the glass wears them down. They're a special ceramic, and so they'll develop a crack or something, and the
Okay.
glass will not stay in there
Stay in
anymore.
there, and then you just have to replace
You
it.
got to turn it off and replace it, and that's kind of what they're doing.
Oh, okay. So how often does that happen?
Between 6 months and a year,
Okay.
the big furnace stays on continuously for that long until it breaks or until
okay.
something else goes wrong. But usually that's the first thing to
That's
go.
the first thing to go? Okay.
And I'm using them today and tomorrow and the next day, making like those blue ones on top of the phone. Those are birds.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are gonna be red.
Oh, okay. I see.
I can't wear this thing and clog up the glasses.
Oh, okay.
It's too hot anyways. It looks orange or yellow, but it's just clear. It only looks that color because it's so hot. Inside here I've got some other little bit of color, or actually it's silver. This table is called a marber. It's usually made with stainless steel now, but they used to use marble
Oh, okay.
like 500 years ago or whatever. I got the little swirl of silver in there. I cooled it off, so it's got some structure. When I dip into the furnace to get another layer, it'll heat it all back up. If it's too hot, it just lose its form. Gotta let it cool down a little bit, but not too much. Now I'm gonna go back to this oven.
Okay.
That's where I've got those colored rods.
Oh, okay.
I got some blue ones in here actually. I made some white ones yesterday, and I made some other crazy colors too, like not plain colors. Like ribbons and
have to stay within the
They're gonna be
specifications.
within a quarter inch or so of each other. In height and width. because most of tile has ceramic, which is actually glazed or coated with the glass, essentially.
Okay.
And then we've got these wheels. Way back here in the back, there's a couple more diamond saws. These things are like self-feeding. They have a vise, you can put a piece in and it'll like slowly go forward and cut it. And so there's a grinding wheel. That's like the roughest grinder.
Okay.
And then as we go this way, these wheels, like these is made of wood. And it's got this diamond.
It's almost like a powder.
Sprinkled on top, essentially.
Okay.
It's just a finer and finer grit, like a sandpaper, from here to here. And then this one is felt, and we put a chemical on here called cerium, and that polishes the glass. It's like a polishing compound.
Okay. And that's what makes it nice and shiny and pretty.
Yes. I don't know whose these are, or any of them are polished, but yeah, that one's been polished all the way through, and it's just as shiny as the rest.
Mm-hmm.
See, this one is not polished yet.
Oh, okay.
That
makes
one's
sense.
been flattened or ground on the rougher wheel, probably, it looks like.
And just hasn't made it to the polishing yet.
Correct. And not every piece gets polished. I don't think he was planning to polish these. It doesn't look like. It looks like he already signed his name there in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But for a piece like that,
You don't need the bottom to be shiny.
yeah, you're not going to see it unless you're picking it up. And unfortunately, when you actually use a piece of glass and it gets picked up and put down and stuff, the bottom, if it's like perfectly shiny, it will get scratched over time. So it's almost better,
So sometimes it's
in
better
my
if you know
opinion,
you're gonna
to
be
just
doing it.
leave it flat and sandblasted looking rather than that. But it's all personal preference, really. Something like this. This, you have to polish it or you can't see inside of it.
That's where you're talking about the bubbles you put in.
Yeah, that's bubbles on purpose.
Yeah. Those are always my favorite.
But this thing, the metal pipe was actually right there when we were making it in the hot shop.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we got done, we brought it in here and cut a slice right there, cut that slice and polish them both up, and
So then you can see all the work you guys
Really
did
neat.
inside. So that mirror finish on the bottom, that's still glass? It's not something added to it?
yeah, that's
That's
glass.
just polished that well.
Oh, it's got scratches in it actually.
Oh, no.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
That's why it's still in here. It's not quite ready.
It's not finished.
This one looks like the circled something here. It needs to,
Mhm.
there's some little chips on the edge that need fixed. That's a belt sander. We can kind of run the piece on there,
Mm-hmm.
on the edge. It'll smooth it out right there.
Oh, okay. Super cool. And so that's kind of, this and this are kind of made the same, I'm assuming. Ish. I know I'm oversimplifying a lot.
I mean, they both have that same sparkly stuff. Definitely.
There you go. So cool. So when you do decorative, like the ones down there, the vases down there, so that's just those rods that you guys make of the colored glass, and then you add it to the glass. So like on that one over there,
This one?
the one next, the white one. So is that where?
they're- both of those are actually.
Okay.
You can take these rods and bundle 5 of them together and surround it with glass and
Stretch.
stretch it out and twist it,
Okay, that's how you get the,
and you get those.
cool.
And then this is like kind of the same way, except this is those single plain ones wrapped around the outside of a cylinder of clear glass and then stretched and twisted.
Okay, instead of twisting the.
And that gives you like that effect.
So there's a lot of hard work that goes into this.
A lot of different things you can do, really.
So cool.
Wasn't that so cool? If you liked what you saw, make sure that you sign up for the library Christmas trip to Karg Art Glass. You and your family will be able to make your very own Christmas ornament. Make sure you sign up as it's first come, first serve, and head into the library to do so on Monday, November 9th. Hope to see you there.